AITA for taking a job with my dad's biggest client, meaning he won't get to any more work with them? My dad has a business that me and my brother work for. My wants to leave the family business entirely to my older brother. He says it makes the most sense because my older brother is his oldest child and has been in this business the longest. He has a business degree, and knows much more about the business side of this work. While I do the physical aspect of the job very well, I was a bit impulsive when I was younger, so he doesn't think it would be a good idea for me to be in charge. To be honest, I don't think it would be either, but considering how much I contribute to this business and that I'm his son too, I think I should at least get some say in the future of the business and a stake in the company. Not even half, but some. In the end my father said no, but that I would get some money after he died. The whole thing really pissed me off and I was starting to get bitter continuing to work there and be around them, so I gave my 2 weeks notice. I've just been trying to keep a neutral demeanor the whole time. This week is my last week, and Jared, the guy that represents our biggest client, was asking if I could take care of this other project next week. So I told him I would pass that along to my brother, but that I'm not going to be working here next week. Jared and I talk a lot and are pretty friendly with each other because I'm the one that mostly works this job. We've actually hung out outside of work a few times. So he asked why I was leaving. I just said for personal reasons. He asks where I was going to be working and I told him I wasn't sure yet because there's not a lot of business that need employees with my skills. Anyway, today while I'm working, Jared's boss comes down and asks me if I will consider working for them. He said he's been thinking for a while of doing all this work in-house, but has been having trouble finding someone experienced since it's such a specialized field. He said he's always been very happy with my work and that's why they always request me. He offered me a 3-year contract and the salary is so much more than I would ever have made at my dad's company, plus it comes with benefits and an office. Not sure what I'll do with an office, but that seems pretty cool. I also get to pick out the equipment and I can hire 2 employees to work under me. Overall it's an amazing deal, but I know that losing this client will hit my family's business hard. At the same time, it's not like I was asking for it or trying to steal their client. He was the one that came to me and wanted me. I thought about maybe using this as a bargaining chip with my dad to get some say and stake in the company, but honestly I don't want to get it that way and I just don't want to work with either of them anymore. Edit. I really regret putting the whole bargaining chip in this post. People seem to keep focusing on me doing that when I say right afterward that I don't want to and don't want to even work with them anymore. It was just a fleeting thought, guys. Edit 2. Seriously guys, not actually planning on bargaining or negotiating with my dad or brother. And before we go to OP's update, let's hear from our Reddit folks about what can they say on this. First comment is from Elcod, NTA, unless you use this to pressure your dad, just go and take the job. And next is from Buy More Plants. I think putting in your 2-week notice was the final bargaining chip. If they didn't care enough to keep you then, they aren't going to care enough to keep you now. They'll just want their client back. And who knows what will happen after that. Maybe they keep their word to you, maybe not. Take this job. Secure your future. But be prepared for the backlash of your family. NTA. From Demo_Beck, NTA. Your dad was being completely unfair. You now have an awesome opportunity, go for it. I would, however, check any employment contracts you have and make sure you're doing it by the book. For example, my old contract stated I couldn't work in a competitor business until 6 months after I left my old place. OP's reply was, I'm pretty sure mine didn't have any competitor clause. It was really short. Like 2 paragraphs long. I'll check again later though when I get back to the office. Another comment from Jwinner, NTA. It's not a family business. It's your dad's and your brother's. That much has been made perfectly clear. And here's some comment from Crazy Mike, NTA, but I'm not so sure your brother and father will see it that way. Nevertheless, you should talk to them and explain how this happened. Ultimately though, if you felt valued by your father's company, you'd still be working there. They made the mistake of not listening to what you were telling them. It's right in your post, I don't feel valued. It would take some kind of stake in the company for me to feel valued. Had they listened, you'd still be there. They didn't, you quit, and someone who values you made you a great offer. This is how business works. You could have just as easily started your own competing company, as so often happens when people leave. In this case the offer will hurt them, but although working there is your decision, your dad started this ball rolling. Now let's proceed on the update. Update, so it's been a while since my first post and things have been settled. I felt like a good amount of y'all said it was okay to take the job. There were a few that said I should give my dad and brother a heads up that this was all happening before I accepted the job so as not to blindside them. So that's what I did the day after I made my original post. The talk itself didn't go so smoothly though. They got pretty angry. My dad said this was a reason why it would have been bad to give me part of the business because I'm selfish and only think of myself when he's trying to keep over a dozen people employed. My brother said I was basically betraying the family because I didn't get something that I didn't really deserve from them. I didn't exactly want to stay around them anymore after that, so I just walked out early that day and decided not to finish out the rest of the week that I was going to. Later I called to formally accept the job. The equipment we ordered only came last week, so I was basically just been paid to stay at home and do nothing for the first few weeks. It was actually nice to have a break from everything before diving into work again. It's been pretty great at the new place though. My new workspace is a lot different, nicer, from my dad's shop. It's wide and open. It has air conditioning, assigned parking so no more fighting for a spot on the street. The office they gave me isn't huge, but it's also nice. Like I said in my previous post, I don't have much use for an office, but it's still nice to have a private place to myself, especially one with a mini fridge. Overall, I definitely feel much more appreciated here than I ever felt working with my dad. Speaking of which, I haven't talked to my dad or brother since, and I don't think I will. I had heard from Jared that right after I had left after talking to them about the job, they had called my new boss and tried to deter him from hiring me. I also heard from a cousin that my dad's business isn't doing so well right now and they had to let some people go and are downsizing. Some of their other clients had shut down their businesses due to COVID. So that combined with losing their big client permanently hit them hard. Anyway, there's not much more to say than that. Many of you were right in that it all likely did permanently damage my relationship with my father and brother, but I still want to say thank you to everyone who encouraged me to take the job. Comments, from Otterhouse5, they're mixing up cause and effect. Business partners are responsible for looking out for the well-being of the business, employees are responsible for doing a job in return for money. Your father and brother made a decision that you are an employee instead of a business partner, and now they're mad at you for acting like an employee instead of a business partner. If they actually wanted you to act in the best interests of the business instead of seeking the highest pay and best working conditions for the job you are paid to do, they should have cut you in as a part owner so that it would actually be one of your responsibilities. Another one from Ashravan, this is probably one of the best succinct breakdowns I've seen to help prevent misplaced company loyalty. From Relazar, it's unfortunate that your dad and brother didn't consider the potential consequences of their decision. I'm sorry they have chosen to make all of this your fault, blaming you for looking after yourself and your own future. I wish you the best of luck in the new job, and hope that your family will eventually be able to mend things. And lastly from Splatterfilm, congrats on the new job. It's bad business to rely so heavily on a single client/vendor/product. That's your dad and brother's faults. Calling your new boss to badmouth you reflect very poorly on them. I doubt Jared is going to recommend them to anyone who needs the service they offer after that. Enjoy your new office, with mini fridge? Me jealous. That's it for today, folks. I'll leave it here. If you have comments, just put it down below. See you again on our next story.